Have you ever wondered what it would be like if Einstein, Steve Jobs, and your child's brain had a party? Welcome to the Neuroquirky Nexus, where we celebrate the extraordinary minds of our neurodiverse children. Welcome to you amazing parents and caregivers to this podcast. Here we are going to navigate the colorful world of neurodiversity, and we're going to explore holistic, out-of-the-box solutions for children and teens with ADHD, stress, anxiety, and other neuroquirks. Each week we'll dive into practical, brain-based techniques and quirky strategies to help your child thrive. I'm Lori Bloyer, a former veteran teacher turned holistic neurogrowth, learning, and life success coach. As a parent of a neurodiverse child myself, I've spent the last 20 years researching, experimenting, and developing unconventional approaches to support these unique minds. I myself have ADHD diagnosed later in life, and thank goodness, now I understand some of my neuroquirks, and I am going to give you, from my years of teaching in the classroom, my son and myself, several tips, tricks, strategies to help you and your child thrive and create peace at home and joy in your life. So, are you ready? Let's get quirky. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Neuroquirky Nexus. Thank you so much for joining me today. Well, it's almost summer. Some schools are actually letting out pretty soon, and some schools in a few weeks. So it's time for us to do an episode about summer meltdowns, emotional regulation for neurodiverse children. This is also an article I have coming out in the upcoming Parenting, Learning, and Living magazine, but I wanted to talk about this idea before summer starts. We've talked about a lot of holidays during our podcast, but summer is around the corner. And as you know already, we're here to dive deep into the beautiful, complex world of our neurodiverse children and those people that we love, support, and advocate for them as teachers, as parents, and as ourselves, perhaps. And I'm Lori Bloyer, your host, and I am a holistic neurogrowth learning and life success coach. I've been a teacher for many, many years, and I'm so excited to walk this journey with you and share with you resources based on my wealth of experience and training. All right, today's episode is all about something so many parents ask me about this time of year. Summer meltdowns. Why do they happen more often? And more importantly, what can we do about them? Let's talk about emotional regulation during the summer months and how we can set our kids up for success. All right, are you ready to get started? Let's get quirky. Okay, let me talk to you about Ethan, for example. Ethan. Last Tuesday, 8-year-old Ethan stood frozen in the middle of a crowded water park. His hands clamped tightly over his ears. Tears were streaming down his face. "I want to go home now," he screamed, while other families looked on, unsure how to react. A mother shared that story with me. Does that sound familiar to you guys? Does that sound familiar? I know for sure my son also would experience those type of things. Too much. What was supposed to be fun and carefree day, it turned into a sensory nightmare for poor little Ethan. It's because his brain was overloaded. After 3 deep breaths in a quiet corner, Ethan and his mom were able to regroup. But this moment was a wake-up call. Summer freedom, while amazing, it can bring its own unique challenges, can it? Especially for our neurodiverse children. The shift away from routine, the increase in unstructured time, loud and chaotic environments, and the sensory onslaught of heat, sunscreen, and noise can quickly lead to emotional dysregulation. And that's just a few of the things, right? So What can we do to support our kids in these moments and prevent meltdowns before they even happen? What can we do? Let's talk about it. But first, let's zoom out. During the school year, many kids, especially neurodiverse kids, have structure, predictability, and routine. That consistency helps regulate their nervous systems. They may not love every part of it, but it gives their brains a map. Summer often removes that map. Now imagine you're a child with ADHD or autism or a sensory processing difference, and your internal regulation system is already working overtime. Summer says, go have fun, but your brain is silently screaming, where's the plan? Or some other version, right? And if, depending on your child's neurodiversity, but if no one helps you interpret and navigate these experiences, boom, meltdown. But their systems are just really dysregulated, right? So we have to work on how to help them with that meltdown. But this doesn't mean summer has to be a minefield. It just means we approach it with a little more intention. So what does that mean? Let me give you 9 practical tools for calmer summers. Okay, let's get into the good stuff here, right? These 9 powerful tools, these practical ways you can support your child's emotional regulation this summer without feeling like you need a degree in therapy. Number 1, you can understand the triggers. That's huge. We've talked about that a lot in these podcasts. What is affecting your child? What's triggering them? Please pay attention to patterns. Is it noise, transitions, heat, hunger, maybe too much social time? Understanding your child's triggers lets you prepare and reduce the impact. So please create, you can do a simple visual schedule each day. Even just a morning chat with drawings or symbols helps. Include calm time, like you would snack or swim time. And of course, it really helps to pay attention to their triggers, right? So if you've been tracking them a little bit, and I do have resources for trigger trackers, so reach out to me if you would like one of those, then if you've been tracking the triggers, then you can see what type of schedule to make based on how they're feeling when their energy is high, low, or just right. For little ones, you can use pictures, you can keep it short, maybe 3 or 4 items max on your daily schedule. For the older kids and teens, let them help you create a schedule. Use a shared calendar or reminders, an app maybe, so that they feel some ownership in this process. Really important to get their ownership. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, keep a rhythm, but not like a rigid routine. Yeah, we need a break from the school grind. The kids do, we all do. But complete chaos and complete disorganization or laissez-faire, right? Whatever, that's not going to help either. Try to anchor your day with some kind of routine. So you could have breakfast at the table, but then what is for breakfast could be the freedom and the variety in that. You could have after lunch, maybe it's a quiet time, depending on the energy level of your child that you've hopefully been tracking. So you could have that quiet time. And then again, they can pick what they want to do for the quiet time. A wind down routine for the evening. So some very simple routines, but within those routines, you can have a lot of fun inside as well. These rhythms feel safe, familiar, and soothing. It helps them and you set the day up with success. You still can have some freedom, but knowing that there's some structure to your freedom is very welcoming to these neurodiverse children. Number 3, let's build emotional vocabulary. When kids can name what they're feeling, they're less likely to act out. For example, you could pause during a show or a book and say, wow, that character looks frustrated. What do you think they're feeling? Or ask, what did your body feel like during that big moment? Really, really good to get curious, as I've talked about many times in these episodes. Get curious. This builds interoceptive awareness, right? They're really starting to become aware of themselves and able to name. And we can even give the vocabulary bigger than I'm mad, I'm sad, I'm frustrated, but teach them a whole variety of feelings. I'm agitated, I'm annoyed, right? There's lots of different variety depending on the age level. And instead of, yeah, whatever, right? We can really start to teach good vocabulary to them about their feelings. So this interoceptive awareness that really gives them a sense of what's going on inside their body. And it's crucial for self-regulation. Okay, number 4. Lean into sensory strategies. Summer can be loud, sticky, bright, unpredictable. That's a sensory minefield. You could try to pack a sensory toolbox for outings. So noise-canceling headphones, favorite fidgets, snacks, a cooling towel, sunglasses, water, whatever you think might be needed for this sensory toolbox. And at home, you could also have a nice calm down zone with a weighted blanket, beanbag chair, dim lighting, soft music. We've talked about those before as well. What would be nice in their home sensory corner? And remember, proactive support beats reactive fixes every time. Try to be as proactive as possible to not have to react. And we've talked about planning before. And we'll keep going into that. So number 5, model regulation when you're struggling. Really, you are the first teacher. So you need to model your own regulation when you are struggling. Kids are always watching and mirroring. So please try to narrate what you're doing. Like, I am feeling frustrated. So I'm going to go take a few deep breaths before we keep going. This shows that big feelings are okay and that they're manageable. But it also shows that you don't have to scream in order to get out your big feelings. You don't have to react. And we really want to be in control of our anger. Number 6, teach through play. Learning doesn't have to look like school. In fact, summer is perfect for practicing emotional regulation through games. So you could, of course, Simon Says, freeze, dance, Jenga. That's a good one for frustration, anxiety. Uno, anything that requires focus, flexibility, or frustration tolerance. Celebrate how they handled a tough moment, not just whether they won. So teach through play. That's a great one. How about number 7? When in doubt, go outside. Nature is like a reset button for the nervous system. You're going to be hearing a lot from me coming up here about systems, as I have now been certified as a block to flow coach. So you'll be hearing more about systems and how we can look at systems to help your child and yourself. Try this. Go walk outside barefoot. Ground yourself in the grass. Swing in the park. Build a fort with sticks. Blow bubbles. Spin around with streamers. Or simply just sit under a tree and have a snack. Nature co-regulates, meaning it helps your child center their nervous system just by being in it. Their nervous system gets so much calmer, and does yours, and does yours. And then manage technology mindfully. This is number 8. Manage technology mindfully. So let's be real. Screens are part of summer life, but they can impact regulation in subtle ways. So try this. Notice how your child reacts after screen time. Are they more dysregulated? More irritable? You might need to create tech boundaries or build in movement break before and after screens. And of course, we could do whole episodes on screen time, but just really be mindful of it. Pay attention to the triggers. Pay attention to how they're feeling before, after, and of course, balance. Not too much. Okay. Number 9, focus on connection over control. As we've talked about in other episodes, connection, please. This might be the most important one. Emotional regulation starts with relationship safety. When your child feels seen, heard, and understood, they're more likely to come back from the edge. When we all feel seen, heard, and understood, we're all likely to come back, probably. So try this. When a meltdown is brewing, drop the urge to fix. Just get low. Soften your tone and say, I'm here. I see it's hard. Let's figure this out together. Or another strategy that I've talked about other times is the notice and wonder. I notice you're about to have a meltdown. I wonder what we can do to help you. Or as we start talking about systems coming up, I notice your nervous system is really agitated right now. I wonder what we can do to fix that. So remember, regulation really happens in connection, not punishment. And again, you are their model. So connect, connect, connect before you correct. Okay. As a parent and a caregiver of a neurodiverse child, you already know summer isn't always the most wonderful time of year, and that's okay. But instead of fearing meltdowns or dreading the chaos, shift your mindset. See this season as a time to practice, to connect, to understand your child more deeply, to grow. This isn't about perfection. It's about progress and peace. Because every meltdown is really just a message saying, I need help navigating this world. My systems are not in alignment. Help me figure this out. I don't have the tools yet. Please help me. And so with the right tools and the right mindset, you can help them do just that. You can help them regulate their systems and make summer fun. Make it fun. But practice. It always takes practice. So I'm going to close up and let you just know that I appreciate so much that you are hanging out with me in this Neuroquirky Nexus. If this episode, as always, gave you some helpful insights, I would really appreciate if you shared it with another parent who is also wondering what to do for the summer, their dysregulated child. And look for this article also in the Parenting, Learning, and Living magazine, linked in the show notes in June. All right. So please go ahead and share this if this resonated with you, if you have any friends or other parents that you know that are struggling. And remember, please remember, you're not doing this wrong or you're not a bad parent. You might be having a bad day and your child is not a bad kid. They might be having a bad day or a difficult time. But as our children are very different, we have to parent differently too. And so we're not doing it wrong. We're just doing it differently. And different can be very, very powerful, especially as we start to learn how our children work, how the systems that they use and navigate, how those work as well. When we can get control of that, we will be raising amazing, amazing people for the future. Okay. So until next time, breathe deep, love hard, and stay quirky. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to Quirky Nexus. We are so glad you took the time to join us today. I know time is precious, and we are so glad you're here. I hope you got a lot out of this episode. Please don't forget to post your activity using hashtag NeuroNexus. That's NeuroNexus. And of course, all links are in the show notes. And I just really hope you enjoyed it. So if you did, please like and subscribe and share this with a friend. I think this is really good for families that are new to their child being diagnosed with ADHD. And I believe that the tips and tricks and resources I'll be sharing will be very helpful for all families, but especially new families. And finally, I am creating a workshop coming up to help families with ADHD finding
and using a holistic, natural approach in support of a book chapter that I'm writing and articles and magazines that are coming out. But my workshop, I'm so excited about because I can work with you all one-on-one. If you have any suggestions, I'd love to hear from you. Thank you again. And remember, let's keep it quirky. See you next time.